On today's episode of Black Plague Precision, we talk about one of the most dynamic businesses in the game. We do a walkthrough of the website, look through their social media, and talk about how they can help you. That's right, we're talking about MDT. Let's check it out. All right, guys. So, welcome to today's episode. If you had a chance to watch the first episode that went out, and I hope you did, and if you haven't, go check it out. But if you did, you probably heard me talking about MDT a lot because they are my favorite company in the precision rifle game. Now, they don't fit all needs, and there's a lot of other companies out there that are great, but they are my favorite. They're the ones that I feel trusted in. They're the ones that, when I'm looking for something that I think will improve my ability to perform, I will look here first. And so I'm very excited. We're going to jump in. We're going to take a look at what's going on with MDT. All right, guys, before we get started, we are going to go through MDT's Instagram account, their social media. Now, if you're following along, that's MDT TAC 21. I'm really surprised they only have 60,000 followers. I mean, they should have a couple 100,000 followers because they are number one in this industry for providing entertaining content around long range precision shooting. I really haven't seen anybody do it better than they have. So I am very surprised that there's not more people following this account. So if you're not following the account, definitely follow them. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm paid for everything I ever got from them, including this shirt. As you can see, I love these sun-dried shirts that they make and a couple other companies make. So definitely, check these out, and we're going to go ahead and dive in. So they did rename themselves not too long ago, a couple years now, MDT Sporting Goods, which I think is a much better, accurate description of what they're doing. And if we're looking at their Instagram, right, we can see here that they have their posts, they have their reels, they have their tags. And as you can see, right, they have a lot of beautiful rifles. Now, again, they have stuff for hunting, and they have stuff really primarily geared sort of the same way that on our last episode of Wolf Precision is geared for precision rifle shooting, right? And so you'll notice that that's pretty much what it's like. We're not going to probably get into a lot of components here that are super designed for something like bench rest or F class. But I will tell you that I run my system on this, and I'm shooting bench class, and I'm shooting I'm shooting bench rest, and I'm shooting F class. And maybe it's stupid, maybe it's not going to work, but I honestly think that they might be the best system to also run on there as well. And I'm going to keep testing that out. So we can see here, right? I mean, a lot of people really kind of engaging in this. And the nice thing about MDT is they're big in the industry, so they sponsor a lot of tournaments, a lot of shooting competitions, and because of that, and they have teams as well, but because of that, they're able to put out great content. They have a lot of people producing content, and on top of that, they have a lot of people testing what they're doing, and they're one of the few companies that I find that make realistic improvements and changes to their equipment and to their products, and they get a lot of people to beta test their stuff and put stuff out. And so that's really cool, right? But one of the best things about what the social media will provide, right, is we're really looking for education. We're looking for information. We're looking for a way to navigate the precision rifle industry and understand what's going on and what our options are out there. And they're a great company for that because they do a lot of things that are pretty interesting that nobody else is putting content out for. Stuff that honestly I wish I was putting out. I mean, it's pretty good. Here's a good example, right? Only 470 likes on that, guys. Come on. Heating up a carbon fiber barrel with 1,000 bullets. So they're gonna run 1,000 bullets through this carbon fiber barrel, and they're gonna see if it affects the accuracy or the precision. And so they take a lot of things, they challenge themselves within their company. They take a lot of what people would consider facts in the industry because they just think it is, or they heard it was, and they test them out. And sort of stuff like this is really cool. I really like this video here because he goes over some technique with how to keep your magazine, how to grab it so you can quickly and accurately load it into your rifle. And that, I thought that was really cool, really interesting. These sort of technique things, guys. They have guys from their team that are coming on here, and they are showing you how they're using the equipment and how they're sort of integrating it. And so they're tried and true. You know, they're competing at a high level, and so this is a great. I mean, look at this. Let's take a look at this because Jesus Christ, look at how freaking cool looking this this freaking rifle is. I mean, obviously MDT doesn't put, when we go through the website, you'll see they don't put out that color scheme, but you know, you can get a lot of kind of modifications done on stuff like that. But I find that there's a lot of flash and a lot of flare that can happen with this stuff. And not only that, they're putting out some of the best stuff on the market. It's extremely well made, extremely well tested, and you sort of get to see some of that stuff as you're on here. And so I think that that's pretty cool. Let's take a look at their posts for a little bit. It's been a while since I've actually been on their social media. I do get stuff on my feed, but I'm not actively looking at it as of right now because I'm not spending any money on buying any new equipment. But it is pretty interesting on what's going on here. So let's take a look at this. We have they have a lot of really great shooters, especially like at their teen level. I think teens are some of the best people to get into the sport because they have the ability to move and be competitive in precision rifle shooting. I know if I was able to get at this at the level you really want to be in it, you know, with having the right equipment and things like that, when I was in high school, I would have murdered. I mean, the amount of discipline and time that I had would have been pretty awesome, right? So you can see here a lot of really cool stuff on their website. These right here is a good example of them testing tried and true. I still don't have these for my system. I'm not sure that I'll get them, although I don't have the, you know, the Elite MDT ACC, but these bumpers here, I forget exactly what they call them, and we'll see them on the website, but I really wanted these for a long time before I had to worry about a weight limit for F class in bench press. So definitely take a look at this. I think this is a good starting point. I always really start with what's their social media look like, what's their website look like, do they have any, you know, additional things that are out there that I can read up about what they're doing, testimonials, people doing videos about them, right? Obviously from this place here, we're not going to do it, but looking at hashtags that have MDT or MDT-ACC, or you kind of have to navigate their website and see if you can find stuff, but what are other people putting out about their content? And so this is a great place to start, but why don't we jump into the website? I was looking at it a little bit earlier. So when we get to the homepage, there's a couple different ways to go through this. I love going through websites, even if I've already know pretty much what's on there, which, you know, my core websites, I know about 98% of what's on there, unless they release something new that I didn't really like, I didn't catch, but I'm normally on all of the newsletters that they send out, so I do get updates. But I'm going to show you guys the way that I go through it, and it may not be exactly the way that you guys would go through it, but definitely check it out. Now, upgrade your rifle. This is great. It's just going to navigate you through the different rifle options that they have, right? So we're not going to go through that, but you can see, I mean, they have quite a bit for what they're doing, and we're going to probably end up hitting on a lot of this stuff. And then they're going to feature like any website, right? What's some of their new stuff that they have out? So this bipod is relatively new. They're clearly promoting that. You know, they're promoting their the MDT precision bottom metal that they have now for this system. Now, this here is pretty cool. So what kind of shooter are you? This is where I think MDT does a really good job because they really pay attention to the customer. They're super customer centric. And what I mean by that is that they are really making an effort to provide very navigated, very directed, positioning on their website for people who are doing specific things. So, right. And what I mean by that is we have the competition, we have the hunter, and then we have stuff for general. And so this is going to better navigate you, right? Like, oh, I want to compete, which is how I would have originally gone to this. Now, keep in mind, when I first found MDT, and this is the rifle, I have the ACC, but this is the Elite. I don't have the Elite, but this didn't even exist yet. This, when MDT was, this was not a product that existed yet, but it was starting to come out. But you can start to see like what they're sort of gearing you for. This is so freaking cool. I mean, seriously, look at this, like this stuff that they have here, and I can't believe that they have it designed like this much. Now, if we're going through this and we're looking at the, the competition collection, we're talking about this ACC. They're amazing, but look, they're $1,600, pretty expensive for the Elite. Then we're looking at $1,300 for, this is the system that I run. And let's see, do they let you? That was weird. I clicked on the colors, but then it just took me over here. They need to fix that. It should change the colors. I think that would be better optimized. Anyway, but then you see that you kind of go into less expensive stocks and chassis for $549, right? So half the cost to get this, but what you're getting is the ability to be modular on that system. We'll get into that more. We also have these very high level bipods here, and I actually do run this system as well. I have it, even though I'm waiting on a front rest from Seb, and that's taking forever. The wait list is over a year for that. So I'm still running my bipods, and I might sell these off when I do get my front rest because I don't really need them. But also it's nice to have them in case you decide you want to do something else, right? So I do have these here, the 1.4 PRS. And then I'm also running a lot of this stuff too. Now, oh, here we go, rubber dampeners. These were what I was talking about earlier. The rubber dampeners to go into your system to make them a little more rigid and absorb some of the sound. And then you have, the weights. And I always really liked this here. If you're looking for a way to figure out if your rifle is balanced when you're shooting, which it's extremely important that your rifle is straight up and down, that your scope is mounted straight up and down, and that it's all in one line, because it will affect your bullet path. This is supposed to be one of the most accurate ways to do that. I'm not sure I have the weight for it, but if I do, I might do something like this to keep me, in line. So this is pretty freaking cool that they have this competition set. Let's see what they have for hunting. I haven't actually been through these parts right here. So, yep, I mean, look at that. That chassis system's pretty expensive. And I think because it's really lightweight, and which is really nice for, people that are going to be out hunting. Oh, yeah. Look at that. They have, similar options, larger bolt knob, which is pretty cool. So that's a good way to navigate the website, right? I think if you're like, oh, I'm not really sure, like, or if oh, I'm a hunter, like what sort of things do they recommend for that? That's a great way to do it. Here's all of their chassis. So you can see I run this one on the left, all the ones they have here. They're all beautiful. They're all extremely well made. I think anybody would be lucky to shoot off any of these. Look how nice this website is just in general. They really did an amazing job updating this. And it's always been pretty good, but it's getting better and better, right? So you can navigate it through bipods, magazines, grips, buttstocks, accessories, and then they're still sort of featuring, their stuff. This is their sort of top of the line competition. Now, for me, the reason I'm not gonna like upgrade or whatever, and I know you can take this off, is this bar. I don't want that because I'm going to be riding back here and riding up here with my front rest. And I think this is sort of going to get in the way, or it's not really going to benefit me. So I don't think I need that. And this is the premier Hunter series that they have. This is the new bipod that they have, and it's a less expensive version of the other pulling like fully metal systems that they have. And so I've never used these, and I haven't actually seen a lot of people using them. But the other ones are quite expensive. When we get into that, you'll kind of see. And here's the reason that I don't have this little bad boy. I mean, look at that, Jesus Christ, $229. This stuff can really add up. I am super interested in this one-piece scope mount. It seems like a lot of people are transitioning to one-piece mounts because there's less error for issues. Now, when I built my rifle, one piece wasn't as popular. And so I do have two pieces, but I have Badger rings, which are some of the best rings that you can get. And so I don't really think that I need to switch them. But when I do, I'm definitely going to go one ring. I'll likely go Badger on those just because, they have a tried and true history. But I would be interested in trying the MDT one scope mount. Very interested. And then, we have their sort of guarantee here, 30 days money back, lifetime support, which is true. I have been able to reach out to them about some of my gear. Fast shipping, which I can also confirm really leaves their place pretty quick and gets to you pretty quickly. Then secure checkout, 10,000 5-star reviews. We got testimonials. I mean, really the gold standard for creating a website, if we're kind of talking about that. And then we got merch, and then they got all their partners, right? So just like when we talked about Wolf Precision, when you're looking at websites, and not all of them are going to necessarily be like this, because there are some independent creators and designers who are putting out some amazing stuff, but they're not super established in the industry. A good example of this is Super Trickler. Super Trickler is the system that I use for measuring powder for reloading. Their stuff is outstanding. They have nothing but great reviews. A lot of people in the industry are really talking about how amazing it is, but they're not going to have this, right? Because they're not really partnered with a lot of people. But you can see here that, clearly this company is partnered with some of the best companies in the world as well. And you can sort of navigate that. And this is a great way for you to start branching out and figuring out, well, where do I go, right? You click on any one of these, it's going to redirect you to these other places, and you start with MDT and go through each one of these and see what they offer and see how it can better improve your ability to get involved with this sport, or get involved with, improving your system. If you're just going to do hunting, or even if you want to have fun, just make your system a little bit better, right? Recent posts that they have, and now I know they have a blog on here. And again, I would recommend signing up for the newsletter, because I definitely do. And if we're looking back here, down here at the bottom, right, you have the blog, you have, sponsor program, which they do a couple, I think every year. They have a team, like I said, so you got to be really sort of up there. They do a couple competitions, I think, to sort of, at least they did in the past, where you can like win stuff from them. Product requests, I looked at this once, and I really think that if you have an idea for what they should make, that's what that's for. Become a dealer, create an account. I have an account, and then obviously we have their social media following. So very typical sort of first page, although extremely elite, high end. Now, this is why I say you can navigate this in many ways, right? Because you can see, if we were just talking about the MDT ACC, you can see how many times that it came up, and how by clicking on it, it's going to redirect you to that item. And that's sort of the idea, is they want you to sort of move forward on these sort of things, and they want you to engage with them. But ultimately, what you have to understand is, I sort of been through this a lot, and the way that I navigate it is what's easiest for me. Even though this is all beautiful, you can look through and you'll end up kind of where you want. So the way that I navigate this is I come to shop. Now, you can shop a bunch of different ways, right? So you can shop by actions, which, why would they have it split up like that? Well, because a lot of people, the action is sort of the engine of your rifle, right? It's the main thing. That's where the bullets go in, and so that's where the trigger goes into. That's where the scope goes onto. So it's sort of the main thing that you can sort of build your rifle around, and you really want to get a pretty good action. And the other thing is, when people are talking about like Remington or Savage or Tiki, they're talking about not only that company, but they're typically talking about, this is the action I'm running on, right? And so I run the bat action, and so that's sort of how I would refer to it. Shop by chassis name. Now, if you were out and you heard, or you were reading a blog or whatever, and the name stuck in your head, okay, maybe that's what you're looking for. You want to come in here and you're like, oh, this guy Mac keeps talking about the ACC. So now you're able to find it sort of in that direction. Shop by purpose. This is a newer way, but this is kind of what's on their front. What is your need and what you're doing? Now you can see they have extreme long range on here as well, sort of bigger caliber stuff, but competition and all that shop. Shop by collection, shop by type, stock or chassis, and shop by orientation, right-handed or left-handed. So a lot of options to navigate the website, which I think is amazing, but also it's part of why people get so confused going to websites and not really knowing, okay, well, how do I go through this without just aimlessly wandering and not really knowing what I'm looking at, right? So the way I like to do it is I like to come into shop, and I like to come from these categories out here. So I like to start with chassis, and I look at all of the chassis all at once, right? And so, like I said, we have the Oryx, we have the XRS, we have the Hunter. It's going to give you all of them. Now, keep in mind, when you see these prices, it's this here, nothing else. No trigger, no barrel, no action, no scope. That can be confusing for people sometimes, because look, for like the Hunter, they decided to put it on there, right? Because it looks nicer. I mean, you can see it there, right? They have them on there because they want you to see what it's like, but that might get confused. You see and you go, oh, okay, $449 for, that system. That's not what it is. It's just the thing, right? It's the chassis. It's just like the car. It's the thing that everything sits on, the chassis. And so keep that in mind. And you can sort of make the decision for yourself. What's your price range? What is your goal? Now, again, I cannot speak more highly of the ACC system myself. And, I'm sure the Elite is even that much better. But for my case need, I feel like that's where I'm going to stick for now. I don't think I need to make any adjustments. But you can see here, I mean, $1,300 is pretty expensive. If I wasn't looking originally, the ACC wasn't what caught my attention. And I'm going to do this show more here. This wood one's really beautiful here. And I'm trying to look for, let's see, the ESS. This is the one that originally caught my attention when I was looking at the one. I mean, just look at this thing. This thing is just, so grizzly looking, just so like, that looks like if I had that in my hand, I would be super competitive. I just thought, okay, this thing looks cool, and a lot of people are using it, and it seems like it makes a lot of sense the way that it's designed. So this is what they had out before the ACC that really caught my attention and really sort of made me want to start looking into this company for what they were doing. Then let's come back down here. Right then, the ACC was being promoted and came out, and I went with that ultimately because it was much cooler. But this here is what originally I wanted to build on, right? I wanted to build on this J. Allen chassis. Now, this was before they were owned by MDT, but look at this thing cool. This thing was sweet looking. It's got the adjustable back. It's got the adjustable cheek. Now, let's talk about that for a second. If you are looking for, something to do like this, and if you're going to go hunting, you can sort of stick it and leave it, maybe just buy a pad or something. But, you know, you can go that direction. I wouldn't go that direction. I think, especially if you want somebody else to be able to use your rifle, if you're going to pass it down to your kid, whatever the case, being able to have adjustment on is so important. Being able to get the right eye relief, meaning your cheek goes here and the scope is here, making sure that your cheek is in the right area so there's no black around. Your scope is so important. And then making sure the reach here on the back is in a comfortable position. I think that this is the direction you should go with any rifle that you're going to buy, but a lot of people don't do that on bench rest and F-class because it's pretty much like they want it exactly where they want it. They don't want it to move or anything. I get that. But for a lot of people, this modularity, and this was sort of the first thing that I really saw where I was like, whoa, this is something different. This is something new I'd never seen. And then they went out of business, unfortunately. And the saving grace is that MDT ended up buying them and bringing them back. But that was pretty much where it is now. Again, I went with the Premier, which at the time wasn't called Premier, but now it is. And you can sort of see, how this thing is built. It's got the skeleton back. It's got all of the holes. You can put weights on the insides that sit flat, and you can put weights on the outside. And so you can build the weight up, take it down. You can put rear weights in as well. You can put the bumpers in as well, which will give it a little more, rigidness. And here we go. Here's some colors. I mean, look at these colors. These things are just really cool looking. In general, I went with black just because I felt like it was the best thing. But, I think if I could do it over, I would go with the color. I think I would honestly either go with white or I really like the red. I think the red really pops a lot. So these are the chassis and, just navigate that. Now, I come back up to shop and then I'm going to go to the next one. This is navigated a bit differently on your phone. But, if you're going to do the website, this is what we're doing. Now, here we have essentials is what they deem should be part of like your systems. And we have, scope rings. Again, this is that sort of addition onto that MDT, which it looks like Premier it looks like I could add this onto mine now, which is pretty cool. But I run the adjustable bag rider on the back here currently, and I'm going to keep that on even when I do F-class. I'm just going to take the adjustable part off and use the bottom because it sits flat. So I did upgrade my grip as well to this grip here, which is kind of 90 degreed. And so that's pretty much that. Let's look through here. We have the one piece. We have all of these Picatinny rails that you can add onto your systems. Not for the one that I run, but you can. Yeah, this is the vertical grip that I ended up buying. It has adjustment here, so you can adjust the grip back or forward a bit and sort of angle it a little bit if you want. Which is, I really like that setup. Come back to shop. We're gonna go back to the AIC mags. Now, I do run 2 mags from here. So I have the 6.5 Creedmoor. I run a metal mag, and I also run this poly metal mag. I really don't know if one's better than the other. They say that one is. I think the all metal is supposed to last a little bit longer or whatever, but they both shoot really well. And the funny thing is transitioning over to F-class, I'm not going to use these at all. I'm actually using a bobsled, which allows me to hand feed, and there's no spring or mechanism in there, so it's always the same feed every time. But I love all of these, and they run sales on these during the holidays, so you can't get sale on everything from MDT, but they do run a really good promotional Black Friday sale. Definitely mark your calendar for that. You'll know from the newsletter. And these 2 are what I run. Actually, I don't run the 12. I run the 10 because I live in California, and I guess I don't really run. I still run them when I go to the range for zeroing stuff, but I might kind of move away from that. But yeah, this is your mags. And so if you're trying to figure out what is this, obviously you need to decide what caliber you're shooting, and then that's going to determine what you need. So 6.5 Creedmoor is in a class, and that's the way they do it, right? You have a class, and it means that there's sort of a minimum caliber size and a maximum caliber size that will fit in that class. So the 308 class 6.5 Creedmoor fits in that. And so when you get an action, you can get an action that is a 308 action that will fit the 6.5 Creedmoor in it. And then the same thing with the bullets and things like that. Now, you have to pay attention if you're doing your own ammo or how things are seated or whatever, but ultimately, that's the way you do it. Now, the way that I always navigate this, and you can see here, there's show more, or you can click on more here. I always do show more. I like to just be able to kind of zoom back up and down in the system. And I actually have this magazine loader as well, just because it makes it easier to load your ammo in a little bit quicker. I don't really want to yeah, you can load it with your hand, and people probably say that's a lot more manly, but ultimately I just want to load the ammo and I want to focus on shooting. And so I do have that in my gear when I am out shooting. Let's come back to buttstocks. So you can see here, we have some addition. Now, I actually didn't know they had these timber buttstock space kits. Those are actually pretty cool looking. And I still almost sort of want these rubber dampeners. Again, they go in here. They're supposed to help with some absorption. They're supposed to help with rigidity. Essentially no bending or flexing or less. It doesn't bend or really flex from what I notice at all, but apparently it can. Then you have the adjustable buttstock, and you can kind of see here it goes up and down. It also goes in and out, which is pretty cool. And then you can actually sort of decide. Now, originally, I was going to get a flip. You can flip it and essentially cuts it into like half. And I'm glad I didn't, because I didn't really understand what I was doing. The flip is really designed more for hunters, right? Because this part here who moves, you don't really want, you want to keep this rigid, right? Just like this area here. We want to keep this bending area. We want to keep it rigid. That way we have stability through the entire shot. And yeah, this is going to be pretty stable when you shoot it, but you don't want any factors coming into play, right? And they just kind of have different options here that you can kind of navigate through. Now, I love looking through the website because I'm a gearhead in general. I really like gear, but also this stuff just looks cool. And you sort of wonder like, oh, I wonder if I can use that. I wonder if I can use that. These here go for locking like the faceplate of this as well. I did upgrade as well to the Elite cheek piece from what they comes with stock. So a lot of cool stuff on here, and it sort of just gives you the option to play a little bit on what you have built on there. I'm going to come back here. So I just want to see, we are on buy side. You can see like all the things that are on there. So I could come over here, right, and click on those. But I like to look at everything, honestly. Like if I'm going to spend some time, unless I really know, okay, I need to buy the one thing, that's what I'm sort of looking at here, right? So let's click on this just because it is brand new and I sort of did mention it. You can see it's a nice little build, but it's not going to be as rigid as the other ones are. Not as strong, not as stable is what we're doing. I'm sure it's still pretty amazing, and this looks like it is running on the Picatinny, but I think you could change that. Yeah, you can change that. I run the Arca, and that's just the attachment. Picatinny is sort of smaller, thinner, a little fatter, or thinner, I should say, and the Arca is essentially what camera tripods work on, and that's what I work on for my systems as well. Now, this is the new one, and this is the a little bit older system, but still like pretty robust. So you can see like this is pretty, like it's all metal. It has all of these really nice fixings. It does pull out, and so it gives you adjustability if you know you're going to be on a rock or an unstable ground. It gives you cant and tilt and swivel. It gives you all sorts of abilities. And the same way, the reason I went with this, although they are expensive. I mean, I think $600, $800, $1,000, depending on what you're doing for a bipod is pretty insane. This is $200. But the way I sort of looked at it was, I want to be as competitive as I possibly can, and I don't want any excuse on why I can't compete. And so every component I went with the best thing that was out there. And that's essentially what this was. And so there's a lot of different options for these and sort of their design. and how long they go. You can actually have one that's pretty much you can use it standing, and it kind of collapses out. I think that's called a triple pull. But yeah, they're pretty cool. They're pretty intense. And that's really, those are all of the offerings that they have if you're looking. And it's nice because, okay, like I need some accessories, or I need, I want to do buckshot, I want a new chassis. That's really what they're here. They don't build whole rifles here, right? They don't sell scopes. That what you're getting here, and that's what this website is. Let's look at accessories because there's going to be some cool stuff on here. So this is going to be the thumb rest. Now, as far as I know, this only sits on the ACC Elite, but I could be wrong on that. Or this might actually fit into like a M lock area. I'm not super sure on that. It looks like they have some little bit of swag you can throw on your rifle. Yeah, they have. Okay, I like these timbered. I really do like those. They're nice. We got batteries. Oh, look, there's a lot of stuff on these accessories. I did upgrade as well and got this, although this is the Elite bridge, I got the bridge on mine because I didn't want to do, it's supposed to help with reducing like mirage off of your rifle barrel. And so I did go with that as well. And you can see we have these Picatinny rails that you can add on to your systems. Again, I really like this. And you can see how we're starting to see a lot of repetitiveness as you go through it, which is fine. They have the brake. Now, I had a brake, not from them. I had it from Eric Cortina, which I think he puts out amazing products as well. We'll do a review of his stuff later. Not a lot there, but there's what he does put out is great, and he's a great resource. So I did consider doing this brake, but I liked that Eric Cortina did a brake with a tuner, which essentially just means that you can, when you shoot, there's harmonics, like the vibration inside your barrel, and you can tune that to shoot more accurately. And the brake helps with kickback. And so that was great for PRS, but I cannot use that now in F class. And so it is what it is. I do run this weight on the back as well, and you can start to see how this stuff can add up. I mean, $60 for this single weight that I run on the back of my rifle. It's pretty ridiculous. I have this one in green. And all right, let's keep going. A lot of great stuff. Oh, here's the shield that I run on mine. I thought it made it look cool. Also, I think I bought it used. That somebody was selling it somewhere, and I was like, oh, this is a good deal. Like, I'll buy this. I think it was under $100. And so luckily it runs on pretty well. And I have the interior weights. I have the exterior weights as well, which are great. I love them. I really like the wings on here. I haven't seen the wings yet, but the wings are really great for, they sit on the side of the rifle, so you can have like a little more stability, as well as you can sort of place your hand there, which is pretty cool. I might have moved through them. I'm not really sure. Let's keep looking here. What do they have? This, I really want to run something like this on the top of my rifle. Or you run them on the top of your scope rings because I think it looks cool, and you can mount stuff on top. And I sort of wanted to mount my chronograph on there, but I don't need it at all. It's just one of those weird things. I did also get this system, which I do really like, but it makes it a little harder to feed because you can see where it's, let's see if they show it here. You can see where it's sitting. So it makes it harder for me to feed. So I had to take them off. Plus I couldn't really afford the extra weight, and I don't really need that, but I did like it for PRS. I thought that was really cool looking. One more. I really like this as well, but I found not very many people run them, and I would suspect because it gets in the way. This mounts onto your rifle, and then you can write your dope on here. That way you know where you need to shoot in whatever order. But I see a lot of people running them on their wrist, or there's a lot of new technology out for this. So yeah. So again, a lot of cool accessories that you can add on here. And then let's take a look at merch. Stickers. They do a lot of like just cool stuff that a lot of people aren't doing. Like they, are a little more playful. I like the Suns Out, Guns Out. They got their Elf. They got their stickers. I like this van. I bet they use that for like their shows. And then you can see they got these cool shirts. Now I run these not that. I run these sun hoodies. I really like them. That's what I'm currently wearing. I don't have this color, but I have this green, and I do have, well, it looks like this one doesn't have, I wonder if they changed the colors. I have a gray one and I have this green one. I'd like a black one, honestly. Actually, I'd like both of these. I like them all. And they got hats. I don't run hats, but, you know, pretty nice. Oh, here it is. I have the sun shirt hoodie in gray and I have it in green. We got some posters, which I don't know why anybody would ever buy those, honestly, but you know, they have them. It's cool if you want to hang it in your shop or something. And they got some cool shirts, a little more modern looking. Next round's on me. You know, hoodies, hats. I find that, you know, the shooting community is a little bit older because it's expensive unless parents are buying stuff for their kids. And so maybe the kids are sort of running some of the stuff, but I know a lot of the, they wear, you know, if they're on a team or whatever, then they have gear that they wear. So I've never really seen anybody running a lot of the stuff. Matter of fact, where I shoot out here, I think I'm normally the only one running this sort of gear, but it's comfortable, it's fun. You know, I shoot well in it because I feel comfortable and I like the way that it looks. So, all right. So like I said, a lot of really cool stuff at MDT. I find where they really shine is through their social media. They're providing so much value through there. But if you have the time, you have the ability, and you didn't just do the walkthrough with us, do a walkthrough of their website, take a look at what they're offering, take a look at their partners, and allow yourself the opportunity to really dive into it, right? Give yourself, I mean, it took us about 40 minutes to go through that, but you can go through it yourself, knock it out, and see what you're interested in. Maybe use some of the categories and divide it down for yourself. But if you're looking to get into this industry and you're looking to improve your ability to be more accurate and precise, and maybe that's for competition, maybe that's just to have a little more fun, maybe that's to go out and hunt, I would highly recommend taking a look at MDT because they provide a lot of ability. And as you can see, it does come with a small price tag, but you are going to get what you pay for. And there is a thing in this industry for buy once, cry once. And I do believe that because see a lot of people who buy something, they're going to lose a ton of value reselling it, and then they have to buy the thing that's a little bit better, that if they would have waited a couple more months, they could have just got the thing they want. And that's sort of why, if we're looking at the front rest, that's why I'm on an over a year waiting list, because I want the best thing that I can possibly get. And I believe that's what it is, the Neo X from Seb. So thank you guys for tuning in today. Hopefully this walkthrough was helpful. If you haven't yet, subscribe, like, and share. And thank you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.